Welcome back to another episode of Shades of Reality. On today's show, I have a very interesting guest.
Thank you very much.
By the name of Chris Abeso, who is a youth worker, mentor, public speaker, and the founder of Mastermind Conversations.
Thank you.
Once involved with crime, he now works across schools, prisons, and communities, supporting young people navigating identity, violence, and opportunity. His work is rooted in lived experience with a strong focus on mindset and discipline and long-term change. Chris, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me today.
Good.
Pleasure to finally meet you.
How was the journey? Pleasure to meet you as well, finally.
Yeah, the journey was a bit long, but no, it's worth it.
Yeah, but yeah, we won't go.
Because of the timing. I know.
I was going to say something, but I won't say it on camera, but yeah. Right, Chris, we're going to start off with, what was the moment that led you to that lifestyle of crime, and what was the moment that made you decide to change it? So what changed in your thinking at that point, and was it something built over time, or was it just something that happened?
It all comes to what you experience when you're younger as a child. So everything that we experience comes from the environment. So it's the things that I was exposed to. So from the ages of 0 to about 8 years old, if you're exposed to certain content, you're going to grow up thinking these contents are normal. So I had a father in my life. I still have my father in my life, but I didn't look at him as a role model because I was watching Tupac, I was watching 50 Cent, and these were the black role models I was seeing as, oh my God, I want to be like them. And who you look up to is who you're going to become. So that was the moment in my life where I started growing and thinking, these are the people I want to be like. So I started carrying out actions to be just like them. And along the way, as I grew within the lifestyle, by 7 years old, I think I stole my first car at 7 years old. 7? Yeah, I was 7 years old the first time I stole my car because I used to see my older friends who were like 11, they were already driving.
Wait, so you knew how to drive at 7?
Yes, because your environment influences your brain. Do you understand? So I was watching my other friends who were 11, and what I actually did is I picked up a little ham opener.
Sorry, it's not even funny. Carry on.
I picked up the ham opener. I went into the car, started the car, reversed it, crashed into the wall. And then the second time, I didn't crash. The second time, I actually drove the car, but I got my ass kicked.
Year 4?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking when I was in school in year 4 and yeah.
And
it's a good sign though. It shows that you easily can learn in that.
You can learn, but it's about what you're also learning.
100%.
I grew up, my father was a pastor, so I grew up with both a mum and a dad. But as I keep saying, it's what you're exposed to in the early stages of life is going to determine what you see as normal and how you behave, how you even articulate yourself. And my change came, obviously, I got sentenced to a very long time in prison to 16 years. And the change came when I started re-educating myself. So I started reading a lot. Because when you read, it opens your brain to different brain waves of information, and that's the only way you can stimulate your mind to create a new version of yourself. And that's what I ended up doing. So I started reading. There's a great book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. That book actually changed my life because it taught me about my autonomic nervous system, the limbic brain, emotional intelligence, fight, flight, or freeze response, parasympathetic nervous system. These are things that we need, and it's vital for the younger generation to understand in order for them to be able to regulate their emotions. Because your emotions is what signals your gene expressions, and how your genes behave is how your genes express themselves. So if your genes are not expressing health, because all the information you're getting from the external environment, from the internet, from your peer pressure, it's in the negative frequency, your genes are going to express negative health, and you keep carrying on in a negative way of living, meaning your peer friends, if they're committing crime, you're going to commit crime. That's why they say your network is your net worth.
And we are creatures of habit.
Yeah, we are, 100%.
Looking back, how much do you think your path was shaped? Well, you've just answered this, but how much do you think your path was shaped by your environment, upbringing, and the opportunities around you? And how much was your personal choice? What felt normal to you growing up, or was it a choice?
I think everyone has a choice.
Yeah.
I believe right now we've diagnosed bad behavior with symptoms. 100%. So stuff like obviously people do have stuff like ADHD and stuff, but right now bad behavior is being diagnosed.
It's different to the diagnosis. The behavior is separate.
It's separate, but they haven't separated it.
Yes.
So I think I had a choice in life. Do you understand? You get influenced by other people, but you decide, because now I'm walking in the same environments that I used to be, but I'm not walking with the same energy, with the same mindset. So I'm no longer looking behind my back because I'm emitting elevated emotions. That means I'm emitting love. I'm emitting frequency. So when I walk into a room now, people come to me and said, oh my God, I love what you're doing. Whereas when I used to walk in a room before, striker. I did have a choice. And it takes accountability to understand that you did have a choice and keep making excuses. After 18 years, but after 25, you can't keep blaming your past.
Because not your parents, not nobody. Doesn't matter if you had not had a good start off in life. If you are past the age of 25, it's on you.
Yeah, 100%. After 30, we start losing a lot of our neurons.
Exactly.
Yeah? And the more of these neurons that you start losing, if you don't acquire new avenues of knowledge, you're going to be stuck in the same past. And then we go back into what you said about habits. Yeah, habits are unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions which have been developed through repetition. It's when you've done something so many times that your body's programmed to become the future and it stays in the past.
Yes. Should be a teacher, you should. Or a lecturer, you'd be very good. From your experiences, Chris, and observations, both your own and what you've seen around you growing up and in the communities you've worked in, what do you think the main things are that push young people towards crime? So it could be patterns, misunderstanding from people outside the environment, exposure to things. What in your experience and observations, what do you think?
The biggest problem we have right now is we have a lot of babysitters. We don't have parents anymore. This is a touchy subject, but we have a lot of babysitters.
Well, you're a parent, so you can speak firsthand as well.
I speak on it because parents are supposed to be there to create direction, right? So a father is supposed to be there to create direction, create a trajectory for your children. So when they grow up, you're not just telling them you can be what you want to be. We're not living in that era anymore. So the kitchen's supposed to be the hospital of the house through the language of nutrition and health, right? The bedroom is the cleansing room of the brain. So we got like glial cells, so you need to go to sleep and clean your brain cells, right? The table should be the educational room of the house through respect, through mannerisms, through rights and wrongs, right? So as parents now, we are babysitting our children. So it's easier to tell a child, go and play on the internet, go and have your iPad. Do you know how much screen time actually affects a child's brain development and it reduces their brain's cognitive thinking skills? Like, I think it's 5 hours of screen time a day would lead up to, in a whole lifetime, will be about, you spend about 25 years of your life scrolling through your phone. I think that's the right numbers.
Seeking validation.
Seeking validation. So the biggest problem that we're actually facing right now is there's unaccountability from the parents, and we want to blame the schools, we want to blame social media, but we are not looking at what we are raising at home.
When they want to try and discipline the child, there's no support from the parents. The parents are coming down wanting to fight the teachers. So it's kind of confirming to the child, I can do what I like.
They're enabling the behaviours. So that's the biggest problem. We have enablers. So if your child is supposed to do, for example, their homework, you go to the school and then blame the school why they're not doing the homework.
Go on, carry on.
And accountability starts from home.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I had to learn before I made my change. That if I don't learn to become accountable for my actions, how can I make a difference into a community when I am not holding myself accountable? So the biggest problem we're facing, a lot of babysitting parents who they're not in tune
with what's going on.
With what's going on.
Social media, everything.
Even maternal nature, that maternal protective nature that mothers are supposed to have. They no longer have that.
It's not about giving birth.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of it is to do with being liked, and no one wants to be the bad guy, and that's the problem. It's very sensitive. Everyone thinks that, I've noticed, even I've experienced growing up in that, when you say the wrong thing, people are too nice, and we're not here to be nice, we're here to be good. There's a difference between good and nice. Look at you in the dictionary. Being nice is people pleasing. Being nice is about you, not wanting to look bad and wanting to look good with everyone and wanting to please. But being good is wanting the best for everybody. That means upsetting people. Upset you because
you just speak the truth that most people don't want to face, because most people do not want to look in the mirror
and it's always someone else.
And say, you know what, I've made a mistake. I can do something different.
Especially parents.
Parents are the most unaccountable
Yeah.
people that we currently have.
Especially the older generation as well, from the 60s, 70s.
And they've handed down that trauma to the newer generation.
And they think it's okay to not be responsible.
100%.
Yeah. Let's go on. We could be here all day. Chris can't. We've already had conversations. We get it. I get it. Why do you think society is still more focused on reacting when things have gone wrong rather than stepping in earlier to prevent it? Why do you think we react too late?
Because there's literally no prevention. What they call prevention is not actually prevention.
Okay.
You have to understand, real prevention comes from young. We need to start curriculums from when they are children.
Yeah.
Do you understand? From when these bad behaviors, when they've been seen from not just from primary school, from the younger ages, from when the mums are complaining, saying, do you know what, my child is behaving this sort of way. We need to start setting boundaries and teaching these children from young, because that's when you nip it in the bud.
From 0 to 8, like you said, it's not, after that, it's curing the problem.
Yes. But in these 0 to 8 times, they don't do nothing. There's no preventing.
Because they're all right. Because they don't respond like an adult, it's okay. They're like sponges.
Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? So literally, I don't believe there's actually enough prevention in order for us to actually do the job that we need to do. This is why I'm starting a parenting program called Mastermind Parenting Programs, which I deal with from the ages of 1 to 8, 8 to 13, and 13 to 18. 1 to 8 is what they grow up and what they see as normal. From 8 to 13, they start acting it out. And from 13 to 18, that's who they are becoming.
100%. You've done a lot of research, haven't you?
It's a lot of reading.
Have you done a lot of reading? Is that all while you was in prison?
Yeah, 100%.
You use your time wisely, ain't you?
Let me tell you this. There's 2 people that got called to prison and come out. There's one that goes out and becomes a great man, and there's one that comes out and stays the same man.
I agree. I've experienced both. Not like intimately, like I've experienced being around both, so I get it, yeah. What role do you think social media, music, and what young people are consuming every day plays on in shaping identity and behaviour? Do people underestimate its impact? And what are young people being exposed to early?
You're going
to like this question. I
big advocate. Listen. I'm a big advocate. Remember, I used to do music myself, throwing up that negative frequency. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for banning all this rubbish music, because music can transport you to your past and music can transport you to your future. This is the reason why these kids are listening. Listen, they are being prepared to kill from young. From the ages of 3 to 4 years old, they're playing Fortnite, which are violent games. They're using swords, right? In these video games, some of them get to 7 years old, they're playing GTA. They're listening to drill music in these music. And I said to you, when I was growing up, I was listening to 50 Cent. Who did I want to become like? So they're listening to drill music. So now they get to the ages of 12. What actually happens is they're talking about rolling with a Rambo in a song. Now you're 12 years old rolling with the same Rambo. And now when you have that Rambo, you remember when you was 8 listening to that song. So it transports you into your past. That's why we need music that can transport us into the future. How do we change that? How you do that is you listen to a song and you imagine the future that you want to be. And that future is going to come into reality, because the same way as that music can transport you to the past, it can transport you to the future. But as long as we keep putting this negative energy music into the air, into the frequency, and then it goes into our brain, into the alpha frequency, which is very suggestible to information, and it gets recorded into the autonomic nervous system, your body starts making chemical changes equal to those feelings and emotions that you're making to that music. So the role that music and social media combine play in shaping how the younger generation, not even just the younger generation, but the older generation, how it's shaping them, is playing in their destruction, because they're no longer using their cerebral cortex to make logical decisions. They're literally working on emotion, because that track brings you to an emotional moment. That heartbreak song. Yeah. You know, girls will be listening to a song, oh, that reminds me of... Why not listen to a song that reminds you of being a millionaire? Just don't. Especially women, yeah. You know, we need to
decenter a lot of things.
We need to be listening to music that's bringing us life. We need to be watching stuff that's bringing... I hardly watch TV.
Yeah, I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube and documentaries and stuff.
Yeah, but I hardly watch TV because I'm very mindful. There's a saying, do not listen or watch anything that you do not agree with in your life. Because the more you let that information come inside you, that's going to be the information that you act out on. But yeah. So the role is destructive, and we should get rid of that. If we look at other cultures, furthermore, right now, like the Asian cultures, because I went away for a very long time, there are a lot of Asian cultures, even a lot of the white British cultures, they're all getting this, they're all suffering from this same epidemic. Being a gangster is a disease that can get handed down to your children. And music plays a role in it. I work in schools in Reading, in different locations, and you got kids whose parents are aircraft engineers, and they are coming into the place talking about...
Real, yeah. I've worked with them. Been Reading, Basingstoke, Newbury.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Middle class families, and the girls like, I'm like, what are you doing? Hold on.
Yeah.
What's going on? Where's she getting that from? Social media.
Social media.
They're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Farms, cows. We can see cows and
But before
horses.
social media, the behaviours start at home.
Yeah,
it's just, once they start acting it out, now is a different way. Now they're really acting out what they've been holding on. 'Cause remember, when you're young, you can't really act out because there's things that's stopping you.
Yeah.
The minute you get powerful enough to feel like you can feel yourself,
Ego
especially
gets bigger.
kids who
Yeah.
can control their parents, oh my days, it's game over.
Yeah, I agree. Coming to that, you've investigated epigenetics, neuroplasticity, and neuroscience. How do you understand the link between someone's environment, their lived experiences, and the way their mindset and behaviour develop over time? Do you believe that people can fully change their patterns, and what needs to shift first, mindset, environment, or both?
Epigenetics is the study of how your behavior and environment affects how your genes work.
Yeah.
So epigenetics researchers study how what you think, what you eat, what you breathe, and what you do can directly and indirectly affect your genes. So most people don't even know that when you change your emotions, you can change the expression of your genes, because you're sending a new chemical signal to your DNA, which can then instruct your genes to make different proteins to change the structure and function of your body. What I'm trying to say to you is, what you experience in the environment is what signals your genes how to behave. And how your genes will behave is how your body is going to be developed, is how your brain is going to be developed. Because your genes need information.
Yeah.
Right? And the information that your gene needs from that environment has to express health. So that means the food that you're eating. For example, most kids now, they are drinking fizzy drinks, right? At the back of the can of the fizzy drink, it says, may have adverse effect on a child's attention span. So the information is there that is going to disturb the attention span in the child's brain.
Well, I believe a lot of that's got something to do with connected to ADHD and stuff, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, it is, 100%. There's therefore a connection to that, and they say it as well. So with neuroplasticity is understanding how the brain actually works, right? I needed to understand how the brain works, how to process information. So the limbic brain, right? That's the emotional hub, right? Most people don't even know that when you have a thought, for example, or something happens to you, the blood flow goes to your limbic brain first. And this is where you decide if you want to fight, flight, or freeze response. And then if you learn to manage, control your limbic brain, then it goes to your cerebral cortex, your logical side. Now you can think and make the right choices.
Yeah.
But most people don't get to make those choices because they don't even understand themselves. I think it was Einstein that said, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it.
The problem, yeah. And you can't get better in the same place that made you sick.
Yeah. So the link between it, I would say the environment is the main link, because the environment is what shapes how your genes will behave and how your brain will actually be developed. That's why we always say your emotions actually, when you change your emotions, it can change the expression of your genes, which changes the expression of your destiny.
You listening, guys? You listening? Right. How much of your own experience was about belonging, peer pressure, and identity, especially as a young man trying to find your place? What's a moment that stayed with you, and what makes the biggest difference with young people?
Yeah, I think it was a song by Tupac. I think he said something along the line is, when he's outside, only the real people show him love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're
So what actually happens is you don't feel loved at home because your parents don't understand the language.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't understand the language. We go outside and then you can meet someone today and you're ready to die for that person today because he can understand your language. And I wouldn't call that peer pressure. I would call that trying to fit in exactly what you said. So you make that friend, you make another friend. Before I knew it, I had about 400 guys. I had guys in West London, guys in North London, guys in East London, all the way to Nottingham. Young bucks, everyone looking up to me. because I became that guy. But why did that happen? Because every single one of them was looking for someone to look up to, because they could not speak to the people they had in their life. And I end up becoming their role model. The streets became my role model.
Yes.
And in the streets, like they say, when you go in the streets, you get a tag name, right? That tag name becomes who you are.
Yeah.
They started calling me Striker, young Striker, then I became Big Striker. And with that name, I became acting out as Striker. So I left the name that my father gave me, Chris, to go and become Striker, instead of representing the man who put me into this earth and showed me all the values. Because my dad is a good man. You know, he's what you really call a good man. Looks after the family, pays for my mom's family. Like, he's a real man. But I was out here looking at other men for acceptance because we could not speak the same language. This is why now I'm trying to create the course, like I said, a mastermind parenting program for the parents, because I'm also teaching them the languages to understand how to be able to communicate with their children.
What does your work look like on the ground today, and what impact are you seeing through the work you're doing in schools, prisons and communities?
When I'm in the schools, whenever I play my video, I see sometimes some kids are so emotional when they see my lifestyle video. They'll come back and they'll literally just, bro, how did you go through all of that? How? Do you know? And some of them say to me, do you know what? I needed it, you know? Because I also speak about mental health, men's mental health. My favorite saying goes before I finish this speech: there's no such thing as time wasted when the time being spent is spent mastering greatness. Thank you very much. The teachers behind you, there's a big language barrier because they don't understand you, and obviously you don't understand them to a certain degree. But these are the only people that are going to care about you, because when you turn 18, oh my God, it's long, bro. The judge, you're 18 years old, you're adult now, they're onto you. They don't have to be your best friends. I don't know who your mentor is going to be, but if you can find someone that you can chat to and actually say to them, do you know what, this is who I can actually talk to, find your person. So just find your person. Who is it that you got in your life? Because a lot of people want to tackle the county lines, but they don't understand about there's a lot of people that are suffering deep inside. So the impact that I'm seeing with these kids, they love to see someone that's really been about it, and actually guiding them. And you know what's funny? I have my TikTok mastermind conversations. Out of nowhere, I see kids messaging, bro, that was the best I've had today, you know, thank you so much, man, I needed that. How are they even finding me?
How they're finding you.
You know, but with the algorithm, and they're just literally learning, and they're even happy to be able to meet someone like me, because like I said, they don't have no one that they could talk to, so it makes a difference. And sometimes they ask me for advice. Like one time, one of them said to me, bro, I've got a debt, someone's onto me. I gave him the right advice on how to deal with the situation, and he actually came back to me and he said, bro, thank you so much. Thank you.
So rewarding, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, it is. It is.
Right, final question. If you could change one thing about how we deal with youth crime and poverty in this country, what would it be? What would you say to the young listeners right now who feel like there's no way out?
If I could change one thing right now, that is a good question. If I could change one thing to the I would say the laws in regards to the parenting. The laws in the parenting. Parents need to start being held accountable for the children that they raise.
Well, have you heard the new laws that have come in?
Have they come in already?
Not are coming in. The parents will get prosecuted if their children are criminals.
I'm an advocate for this, 100%.
Oh dear.
100%. I feel like
some people are not gonna like that.
They're not gonna like that, but accountability starts from home. Yeah, that's number one. And number two.
All right, can I just stop you? Yeah. How would you like it if the police locked up your mum and dad, knowing that you just said they were good parents, but they've took your problems on?
But do you know why? What? They was blind. So you know what? If you're blind, that's the consequences that happens. If you're blind, you're going to go to jail.
I agree.
No, because listen, we tend to, with parents, we tend to, if a child makes it in football, we glorify their parents. Oh my days, especially the mums. Yeah. We come up, oh my days, the mum done it. When he kills someone, you blame the dad.
This
This is not even funny, but it's true.
Yeah, it's true though.
I just it's refreshing seeing.
We tend to pick and choose what we want to happen.
100%.
When it's bad things, you blame somebody else. But when it's good things, we put, oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
I done it by myself. No one helped me. But when he went and killed someone, oh no, he was he came from a single
daughter
household.
turns into something, it's the mum's fault. But if she's good, it's the it doesn't make sense.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So there's no accountability within the community. And what was the last bit for the youth that you said?
What would you say to a young person that feels like there's no way out? Is that?
I'd say to them, there's always a choice. No matter what you do in life, like there's always a way out and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Because when I got that 16 years, I thought my life was over. I'm not going to lie to you. I went to my cell. I had a cellmate up in a bunk, Punch, his name was. And listen, I had tears in my eyes and he never heard it. But I felt my life was over. But I've done my time. Look at me. I'm healthy. I'm younger. I'm smarter. There is always a choice.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I'm going to tell you is make it back home.
Yeah.
Regardless of your situation, regardless of if your friends are going to do something, so you'll say, I'm cutting, make it home. As long as you make it home, you can create a new tomorrow. If you do not make it home, I will guarantee you it's going to be an ugly ride because not everybody makes it out.
Chris, where can the audience find you?
Oh yeah, you can follow my Instagram, which has been growing. Thanks to Shadia as well.
It has.
It has. I think I hit 134k insights today. Grandmaster Chris 26. My TikTok is Mastermind Conversations. My Snapchat is Mastermind Grandmaster GMC. And then my YouTube is Mastermind Conversations. Tune into the channels. And I thank Shadia for actually inviting me today because we've been talking about this for a very long time. And even just this short interview can just show you that when two people are aligned with the same passion, with the same vision, when they sit down together, they can create magic. This is why they say an elevated emotion. It takes an elevated emotion, a coherent heart, and a coherent brain in order to change a person's reality from living in the past to living in the future.
You've got bars, you know.
Come on.
You've got bars. Swear down. Nah.
What about your work when it comes to like working in schools and prisons? How can they contact you?
Organizations, LinkedIn. I'm on Chris Abeso on my LinkedIn. Email chrisabeso26@gmail.com. If you want to contact me, I run workshops on knife crime, county lines. I also do, like I said, Mastermind Parenting Program, which is very important. If you're a parent and you need some help in raising your children, finding hard times, how to communicate. If you see them with two phones, if you see them acting out the music they're listening to and you're really worried, get in contact with me and I'll be able to help. And if it's your little ones and they're acting up, also get in contact with me because, they know how to listen because I can smell that bullshit from a mile away, and we can speak the same language. Excuse my French.
You can, no,
sometimes you have to say.
No, you can, definitely. It's so important. I need to touch up. I haven't touched up on your PT. How important it is for you? Because that's part of your business, the PT as well as the podcast. You got the PT.
Yeah.
How important
PT.
is that?
Obviously, I'm a level 2 qualified personal trainer. I love calisthenics. I do Navy SEALs. My fastest 100 burpees has been like
it's
5 minutes and
serious
and 40 seconds. I used to be very fat before. I was 120 kg in weight. Now I currently weigh 80. I got down to 70, but I look like a stick, so I had to eat some rice to put on some weight again. Yeah, I did. So this is part of my study in epigenetics as well. Most people don't understand that when you go to the gym, it's not about calories, right? Because exercise is important. It's not because it counts calories. Exercise is important because it generates the right signals to turn fat into muscle, bone, and other lean tissue.
Yeah.
Because when you exercise and that process of exercising and building muscle, it actually burns some of the fat cells, and you go through a process called apoptosis. Adipose, I forgot the name of it. But what it is a form of your fat cells killing themselves and removing those fat cells. So I had to study in order for me to be a PT, but not just study. I also had to carry out the action. So there's a psychological side to it and a physical side to it, because you can be healthy all you want outside, but if the inside is not fixed up, you're always going to be broken. This is why you have
your mind.
ugly, you have beautiful people on the outside, but
Ugly
inside they are
spirits.
ugly spirits
Yeah.
because they do not know how to regulate themselves. So the exercise side, just to say, is Grandmaster Fitness 26. That's another side of mine. I do personal training. I'm also planning to start a program for mothers called Mothers in Shape.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So literally getting mums in shape, because
Oh,
a lot
I
of
like
mums,
that.
and all you need is 30 minutes a day. So it's 20 minutes exercising and 10 minutes studying or what foods are good for your system, like sunflower oil, which interferes with hormonal
Yeah.
responses and interferes with hormonal signals. Sugars and veg oils act like
So
chemical
what about the
statistics.
olive oil?
Olive oil is good. So olive
you
oil
gonna
is
say
very
book?
good. No, it's not. They're not in the same boat. What sunflower oil and veg oil does is when you expose it to heat, they release trans fat and
Okay.
mega trans fat. And these substances actually produce oxidative stress.
Yeah.
Oxidative stress, hormonal signals, hormonal responses. The sugars and veg oils streaming through a developing baby's blood block signals in the womb that contribute to the birth of a healthy baby. So my question to the mothers who have children is, if you had a diamond, would you trust that diamond? You have the vessel, right? The womb is the vessel.
Yeah.
So you had a ship. Would you trust your diamond in the ship that the captain is drunk? He's eating junk food. The captain's not sure.
I wouldn't personally, but yeah.
That's why your vessel is your most important thing. So
Yeah.
if you're a mom and you're pregnant, or even after you've given birth, what you eat is what your child will actually take in. So this is why they say one pregnant woman's diet can ripple down and affect up to the next two generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can give you the health, I can give you the knowledge, and just read some books, and it will change your life.
It will, and it's my show, guys, not his. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
fanning himself.
Yeah, 100%. It is. Shadia, again, I want to say thank you so much. This is the first podcast I've actually come to since I've been out.
Hey, exclusive.
We have to have people
Exclusive.
that's aligned in the same
100%.
mission,
100%.
with all the conversations that we've had.
Thank you,
And
Chris.
cool, wait, I'll give you one question.
Oh,
no,
go on.
one question.
Oh, go on. Go on.
Cool. What is your deepest passion and purpose in what you're currently doing? What do you wake up every day and say, this is why I'm doing it, and this is what I want to do?
Growing up in a place where I was younger, I was so self-aware, but I couldn't help because I didn't have the power. And I feel like now, and I knew I was, a lot of the elders around me didn't let me express myself the way I wanted to. So I feel like now I'm older, I can give what I never had. I can be the person that I never had. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I wish I had a person like me when I was younger. So I've become that person.
Oh my God. Do you know what's crazy about
That's
the answer?
why.
That's one of the answers that I always tell the kids as well. I'm here to make sure that you don't
Yeah.
end up being me in that position that I was in jail.
There was different people doing different things, but there was not someone like me that just I want to be that person that I never had.
That is so
And
inspirational.
I'm so passionate about living it. That's why I work in Safeguard, work with vulnerable people, children. I work with criminals, work with all kinds of people. Because when I was younger, I was surrounded by them, but I couldn't do nothing to help them because I didn't have the power. And I just saw everyone else have the power but don't do anything. They're just clueless. They're just left things, especially the women. They were angry, but they weren't strong. There's a big difference.
So you're bringing your super thoughts into action.
Yeah.
So all these thoughts that you
All
wanted
these,
to have,
yeah.
that's what we're manifesting as we're speaking here right now. And it's very good to have women such as yourself in this path, because as you know,
And I like psychology. I'm doing my master's in psychology. I finish in January, so
hey, I'm coming to the.
I'm just I just love it.
Yeah, I'm pulling up.
I love the brain. I love
Yeah?
the brain. I love how the mind works.
No, 100%. So yeah, thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.